Once again, you guys know the deal, man. It is a pleasure to be back on another Wednesday rant with my man, the czar of video footage, AOH. And we got another great live for you guys today, man. I got a lot of things I want to talk about. I just saw my man Uncut Hoops drop the latest video. It got me all fired up. So once again, man, I want to thank everybody in the chat that continues to come through our lives, support our channels, man. You guys know the deal, man. Let's roll.
I put out a video in the member section this morning, Uncut Hoops, which thank you for being a member, Uncut, commented on it. He said, "Oh, what a coincidence. I dropped like an hour later a video that pretty much supplements mine perfectly. I broke down why the narrative that the Cavs did nothing for LeBron James is a lie. And I said, you can look at the 2007 finals and realize LeBron was fucking shitty. But Uncut Hoops has made that quite easy for people to take a look for themselves and understand that that's not a lie. I didn't even get through all of Uncuts. It's a thorough one. You were raving about it before we went live.
Yep. Yeah, I thought the video was excellent. Like I said, I'm fired up right now. I just finished watching the video about 15 minutes ago before me and my man AOH linked up for this live. And like I said, there were a couple of points and a couple of things that he highlighted beautifully, as usual, with Uncut Hoops. I mean, the work that he does, the quality of the video footage that he gets. Like I said, some of the things that he was able to find. I mean, he had some of the analysts and their predictions before the finals in 07. He was able to find this stuff, what they said, how they viewed the finals, what they thought was going to happen. And remember, there was no one that thought that the Cleveland Cavaliers were going to get swept in that series.
Yep. Just seeing if Uncut's in here. Sometimes he makes the lives depending on
well, it's early still. I see everybody coming through. Shout out to my man Cali Young, Slow Mo, TG, Roland Curtis, Gundam U, Ghetto Pranks, Mr. Chicago Bulls. Thank you to all you guys that continue to come through, man. Like I said, you guys are always there in the beginning of our live streams. You guys will continue to support us, true supporters of the channel. It means a lot, for real.
Indeed. Thank you, guys.
Animaniac was good, man. Chase, Manukin, Xavier the God, Brandon Ethereal. What's up, guys?
I want to play this clip. I want to wait for more people to come in because I'm going to wait. Distract us with something else.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So once again, man, I don't know if you guys have seen Uncut Hoop's latest video. Don't leave now to go watch it. Stay in the live with us, and we're going to talk about some of the things that was mentioned during that video. But you guys should definitely check it out, because when I'm telling you guys about the rewriting of history, right, and bending of reality, that video highlights the 07 finals beautifully, and it gives you the insight, like I told you, the predictions before the finals, the feeling from the analysts, what they thought was going to happen during the finals, why the Cavaliers were there in the finals, because of the great defensive effort by LeBron James teammates that never get any credit, man. I've told you guys, LeBron James fans are more interested in Scottie Pippen and what he did for Michael Jordan than they ever would talk about Zydrunas Ilgauskas or Drew Gooden, Anderson Varejao, Daniel Gibson, Sasha Pavlovich. You know, and a lot of LeBron James fans, when you read those names off, they laugh. But when you mention guys like Bill Cartwright, John Paxson, B.J. Armstrong, right? Cliff Livingston, Craig Hodges, they want you to believe that these were all world players that Michael Jordan was playing. But to me, those are the same quality of role players that LeBron James has had in his career. So shout out to, when I said, Uncut Hoops and the work he continues to do, because the man is sensational. I mean, there were things in the video from 07 that I forgot about. And Uncut Hoops made a great point. He said a lot of people either forgot about 07 and were focused on 2011. Also, a lot of LeBron James fans were not old enough to remember 07. They weren't even born. They don't know this stuff. That's most of LeBron James fan base. They weren't even around or old enough to remember 2011. We were there. We did actually witness this. We remember.
Oh, I was so fucking happy. My roommate and I would rewatch those 2011 finals annually as a celebration.
You know what's crazy is that, like Uncle Hoops was really mentioning in that video, that LeBron James gets a lot of flack for the 2011 series, and rightfully so, because he was terrible in that series. but he was actually even worse in '07, guys. If you can believe it, he was actually worse in that series, man. The way that they were playing LeBron James, allowing him to shoot those jump shots, I mean, he was missing everything. He was taking bad shots. He didn't have no go-to move. If you want to talk about not having a bag, go watch the '07 finals and then go watch the '11 finals, and you'll be like, damn, this dude has zero bag ever. I mean, it's insane.
You mentioned Craig Hodges, and in my supplemental video to the video I just put out, I go through everyone who I didn't mention in the first one, because I couldn't mention everyone who's ever been on the Cavs or everyone who's ever been on the Bulls, but I did, do a little, because Craig Hodges did come in. He was not drafted, unlike the vast majority of.
AOH, where you go, man? We lost AOH. We lost the czar of video footage, my man AOH. Did they take him out? Here's what happens, man. You start putting out content, and LeBron James sends the people come and get you and take you out.
Did that end the stream? Holy shit.
No, we're still rolling.
Okay. I just had oh snap. The whole thing crashed. God damn. Fucking technology. So anyway, Craig Hodges was drafted 48th overall, I found out. I started looking up when people got drafted, since the vast majority of the Bulls were nothing but draft picks, with the exception of like a couple of people. And you compare that to what happened with the Cavaliers, making all kinds of moves, just trying to make things happen. So you watched the short, though. I did release a short publicly comparing Mo Williams to Scotty. Did you watch that?
Yes, I did. It's astounding the way that you can bridge these things together, AOH, is really astounding to me.
Oh, thank you.
Because I've never even thought about a Mo Williams, Scottie Pippen, and the way that you broke it down in that short. Like I said, you're able to bridge these things, in a ways that people don't really think about.
Well, I said in the longer video, the only reason I came across that or even thought about it in that way is because of all of the pro LeBron propaganda that's out there trying to shit on people. So you find these articles that are making Mo Williams, sound like, oh man, can you imagine the hardship of having Mo Williams as your second best player? And then so I take a look at Mo Williams and like, drafted 4th overall. The Cavs went out and got him, paid him a lot, and he averaged more, or the exact same points per game when he played with LeBron as Scottie Pippen finally worked his way up to, from 7.8 points as a rookie to 17.8 in the 90-91 finals season. So in Scottie's case, Jordan couldn't win until Scottie. He's the savior, scoring 17.8 points a game. And Mo Williams is trash that LeBron had to drag, scoring the exact same points per game. By the way, the rest of his stats were good too. It wasn't like he only scored.
Right. And you know what's a good point that Uncut Hoops made. Hell, he made a bunch of great points in that video. I mean, the entire video is one big old point that he's making. Is this idea with where LeBron James was getting doubled and triple teamed the whole series. And he highlighted that beautifully, that's not accurate. That wasn't necessarily the truth. And he showed many clips of that series. LeBron James literally being given the jump shot by Bruce Bowen. And listen, man, Bruce Bowen was an excellent defender, for the time that he played. No doubt about it. Bruce Bowen was able to be physical at that time of the era of the NBA. He was allowed to, put his hands on you, use a little bit of physicality. But the thing that people forget about Bruce Bowen is, like my man Jim highlighted last time he came on the live stream on Sunday when he did his little segment. He talked about how a lot of these guys that were, that became, really good defenders, they weren't able to crack the league in the 90s. So Bruce Bowen was a guy that he brought up that in the late 90s, Bruce Bowen couldn't crack a roster in the 90s, guys, because it was that talented, it was that stacked. And it wasn't until 2001 that Bruce Bowen became a starter in the NBA. He actually had to leave the NBA for a while and then come back and find the home and became a starter in 01. So when we talk about Bruce Bowen and the quality of defensive player he was an excellent defender. Also, Bruce Bowen was 35 years old, guys, in that 2007 NBA Finals. He retired 2 years later. What's funny, they'll talk about Michael Jordan beat the Pistons when they were old in 1991. But Dennis Rodman, Joe Dumars, and Isaiah Thomas were all under 30 years old. Dennis Rodman was the Defensive Player of the Year award winner that year, and he was at his prime, at his peak. This is not 38-year-old Dennis Rodman or 35-year-old Dennis Rodman. That's who Michael Jordan was playing with. He was playing with 35, 36, 37-year-old Dennis Rodman. Bruce Bowen was 35 years old and still able to take up and play LeBron James the way he was.
Let's play this clip that I had. Oh, I had it queued up, and then LeBron came and got me.
They gave you the hook.
We got a super. Let's read the super, and then I'll queue up the video. I started watching NBA in 08 because of my older brother and Kobe, and I never had LeBron at 1 or 2. I had him at 3 until I did my research and homework. That's from Xavier de God. Thank you for sharing.
Yo, Xavier the God, that's a really good comment you made, and that really means a lot, what you said at the end there. You said, I did my research and homework. And I've told you guys that many times. You know, I don't know everything. I haven't been around forever. I didn't watch these guys play in the 50s or the 60s or the 70s. But what do I tell you guys? I always try to listen to people that know more than me, right? I always try to do the research and the homework to be informed. Because, you know, when we talk about opinions, right? And this guy's an opinion on this one has an opinion on that. The thing about, I always tell you guys about opinions is that some opinions are more valid than others. And your opinion can only be valid if you're able to provide evidence, you're able to provide some kind of proof of what you're talking about. Whenever you hear a lot of these LeBron James fans talk, someone like Nick Wright, the Shannon Sharps, they have nothing to back up, right? No substance behind their opinions. They're just opinions. They're just, oh yeah, LeBron James, number 2 behind Michael Jordan all of a sudden. Oh, LeBron James been past Michael Jordan. There's nothing to support that, though. There's no evidence that shows that he passed Larry Bird, that he was greater than Will Chamberlain or Magic Johnson or Kareem Abdul-Jabbar or Dr. J. He wasn't greater than Kobe Bryant. He wasn't greater than Tim Duncan or Hakeem Olajuwon. There's no evidence to support this stuff.
And Kelvin Washington is working hard to surpass Nick Wright. Like Kelvin, jeez, I saw on The Odd Couple that Rob Parker's out of town. And it's Kelvin and some other young dude, and I won't even click on it. I'm like, oh, this is fucking. It's bad enough when Rob Parker's there to babysit it.
You know, it's really sad that a lot of these networks feel, and I mentioned this before. A lot of these networks feel that they have to have 2 opposing dichotomies on these shows to make the show successful, and I don't believe that's the case, because ultimately, what people want is the facts. They want the truth. And yes, opinion is great. We put our opinions in here. I give you guys a lot of opinions on things that I view or how I view things. But at the same time, just to have someone give an opposing, opinion or thought just to be opposing, to me is not really, doing the service of the NBA and the history of the league. Because oftentimes when these people have opposing views, you can tell that they're just saying this just to say it. I don't even know if they believe half this stuff. Because there's no way that you can support the kind of things that they're putting out. It just doesn't make sense.
Well, you mentioned not being able to back up their arguments. And the problem with, I used Kelvin Washington and Rob Parker, their conversation, to walk through the actual history of the Cavaliers during LeBron's first time in Cleveland. And not only is Kelvin wrong, but that's more frustrating because every time that Rob Parker would actually start to argue him into a corner, Kelvin would run back to something that isn't even true, as if it was a good default argument. He'd be like, well, the Cavs did nothing for him. The Cavs did. And I'm like, you talked about that the first 10 minutes of the show, in the middle of the show, and the end of the show. Can you fucking move on? But it's worse than that because it's not even true. It's not true. I just proved it beyond a shadow of a doubt in the video I released. It is not true. And yet he defaults to it as if it explains away everything.
Yep.
I mean, it's pretty.
Go ahead.
I wanted to ask people their opinion. Where does that rank amongst the many LeBron narratives? Is that the biggest lie? Is it just the oldest lie that LeBron had nobody in Cleveland and LeBron carried bums to the finals and things like that? And oh my God, how did he win so many games with these pieces of trash? Where does that rank amongst all the bullshit excuse storytelling done on behalf of LeBron James? Please, viewers, I would love to read your responses to that question. And yours, Robin, of course. Go.
Wait, what question are you talking about?
Where would you rank the narrative about LeBron dragging bums to the
Yeah,
playoffs
yeah, yeah.
during the first stint in Cleveland?
Well, to me, that narrative is LeBron James' entire career. That's
It
it.
is.
Yep.
But we've got variations of that. So rank that variation.
I want to say that's probably number one. It's probably number one because that's the beginning. That's the beginning for LeBron James, the '07. So they love to highlight LeBron James taking that Cavs team. So how many times have we seen the screenshots of LeBron James and then they show the rest of the Cavaliers roster, right? The names, and then you have LeBron James fans clowning these guys. Oh, who's Joe Ilgauskas? Who's this guy? Who's that guy? That's what I'm saying. You don't know who those guys are, but you're going to tell me about who Michael Jordan did or didn't play with? It doesn't make any sense, man. So we always say the same thing. The reason why you know some of these guys that Michael Jordan played with is because of Michael Jordan. You know them because he made them winners. He lifted them up. So Joseph Ilgauskas was an all-star before LeBron James got there. So you would have thought that someone like Big Z would have been morphed into some perennial all-star playing alongside the great LeBron James, but that wasn't the case. He did not make a bunch of all-star appearances after that. I believe he made one more all-star appearance after LeBron James got there, but he made one before LeBron James. When you look at Michael Jordan's roster when he came to the Chicago Bulls, there was no one on that team that you can look at and say, yes, this guy's going to do X, Y, Z, or this guy's going to do this. Michael Jordan got there, and all of a sudden, those guys started to look a lot better with Michael Jordan there. I want people to think about Michael Jordan those first couple of years on the Chicago Bulls. Remember, he had 3 different head coaches the first 3 years he was there. The roster was in fluctuation, but there was no excuses for Michael Jordan. They still went to the playoffs, even though guys were using drugs and doing all kinds of crazy stuff in the hotel rooms. Remember, Michael Jordan's like 21, 22 years old. This is what he's around. So this could have easily taken Michael Jordan down a dark path, a dark road. You're around all these veterans that are doing all this stuff, and here you are, this young kid. Remember, they left Michael Jordan at the airport. Could you imagine them leaving LeBron James at the airport as a rookie? Insane. It would never happen. That would be another story, another crutch that they would use in LeBron James' go case. Oh, LeBron James lived at the airport. He's the greatest of all time.
It would be fine because LeBron has therapy sessions every week with Steve Nash. He could talk about the trauma of being left at the airport that we would all still be hearing about. Poor LeBron, the shit that LeBron's been through in his life.
Oh. But you know what's funny, AOH? Someone like Joseph Ilgauskas, to me, if he played with someone like a Michael Jordan, right? And when I say someone like a Michael Jordan, I'm talking about the Larry Birds. I'm talking about the Magic Johnsons, right? I'm talking about those kinds of guys. You know, a Kobe Bryant type guy, someone who's going to maximize and try to get the most out of his teammates. But it's not necessarily just to the on-court presence of those guys. So yes, we all get you're going to be greater playing with Magic Johnson on the court. You're going to be greater playing with Larry Bird on the court. But when we think about the impact of those plays and the intangibles of them, it's not just on the court. It's in practice. It's in the huddles. It's in the timeouts, right? It's in the drills. It's all of that stuff, man. All of that stuff goes into them making their teammates better, getting the most out of these guys. So I've always told you, Kevin McHale's a great player, but he was greater with Larry Bird. He was greater. When you think about LeBron James, he'll play with really good players or good players, but he's not making them greater. Right? They have to morph and change their game, so they're inconsistent playing with LeBron James. They're up, down, so what do they do? Oh, this guy's trash. This guy can't play. This guy's not this. So Joseph Ilgauskas playing with Michael Jordan, guys, is going to be a household name. Remember that.
Robin, do you know how I know that Michael Jordan created his All-Stars? Because not only were they not All-Stars before him, they weren't in the fucking league. Michael Jordan sat there and waited for the Bulls to draft the team he would eventually win with. A piece this year, a piece that year, a piece that year, a piece that year. The team sat back and drafted people. They didn't make crazy moves. I mean, maybe the craziest move is Oakley for Cartwright, which I think a lot of Chicago fans might to this day not be very happy about. Cartwright was an injured version of himself, and Oakley was the only good player with Michael Jordan at the time that they got rid of Oakley.
Yeah,
You
you're
imagine
making a
what
great point, AOH.
you imagine what LeBron James would have done to upper management if they had done that with his version of Oakley?
And remember, like you're mentioning, AOH, you're bringing up a great point here. And why is it a great point? And why is it so valid what you're saying? Because not only was Charles Oakley an effective young player, right, that had some skills or had something that he can bring to the table. Yo, shout out to Uncut Hoops for coming
Hey,
through.
see, I boasted this in my video. I pointed out that Drew Gooden was drafted 4th overall, so he's no scrub.
With the Kansas, I believe, right?
Drew Gooden?
I believe he played at Kansas.
Oh, college, yeah. Yeah. No, you're right. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. Pulling the trivia out. Anyway, thank you, Uncut.
Yeah, Uncut Hoops, man. Look, when you think about Drew Gooden, and I know I got sidetracked from what I was talking about with the Charles Oakley thing. The point that I wanted to make with the Charles Oakley thing was that was Michael Jordan's friend. That was a friend of Michael Jordan.
Right.
So you think about Michael Jordan and how young he was. You bring Charles Oakley in, and they develop a relationship, a friendship, right? And then, like you said, the Bulls management gets rid of his friend. I don't think a lot of people understand that, but it wasn't just Charles Oakley. Remember, when they got rid of Doug Collins, Michael Jordan did not like that move. He said, I don't know why we're getting rid of Doug Collins. We just went to our first Eastern Conference Finals. It's like what the Knicks did with Tom Thibodeau, right? They get to the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time in forever, and then you fire the coach. But in this instance, the star player of the Bulls was not happy with that move. But like you just mentioned, was Michael Jordan going to be a disgruntled employee? Was he going to demand a trade? That's what guys do today. Oh, I'm not playing for this coach. I'm not doing with this trade. I want out of here. Get me out of here. Kevin Durant, he wants out of there. LeBron James is disgruntled. Everybody wants to go someplace else if the things are not being done the way they want them done. So when you think about Michael Jordan's career in the Bulls, there were many instances where he could have been disgruntled. He could have been, upset. He could have held a grudge. He could have demanded trades and requests all that kind of stuff. But he stuck with the Bulls. He gave Phil Jackson a chance because he was coachable and he wanted to win ultimately.
Uncut, we both mentioned your new video earlier in the show.
Yep.
And
great work, man.
I was telling people how it's a good compliment to the video I just put out that's in the members section, but it goes public tomorrow morning. But I made a boast in that video that Drew Gooden not only wasn't a scrub, but outplayed LeBron James in those finals, or at least a lot of the time. And here you are, and I know that you just went through the video footage saying he was better than LeBron for at least half of the 2007 finals. I'll take it. I generalized and said he was actually better than LeBron, and you're backing it up with at least half the time. I mean, LeBron was shitty. It was shitty. I did my own video on it, only a short one. I didn't do the whole series, but it was not the case of him carrying scrubs. It was the scrubs suffering through LeBron, just like would continue with his career. Robin, I want to play a funny clip.
Let's do it.
Okay. This is actually from the first few seconds of Uncut's video.
At that moment, my 7 years in Cleveland, I had some good years. Obviously, some great years. One was able to take the team to the NBA Finals. At that moment, my 7 years in Cleveland, I had some good years. Obviously, some great years. One was able to take the team to the NBA Finals.
So my question, is this how LeBron fans talk? Do you walk around public sneak complimenting yourselves? Is this how you fucking people actually talk?
I was able to take the team to the final.
He's an insufferable douchebag.
You know what's funny? I was looking at some of the comments on Uncut Hoops video, and that's what a lot of people are talking about. The the me mentality when the team is winning. But when the team is losing, it's, we lost. It's a team game, blah, blah, blah. But when he wins, that made me the greatest of all time right there.
I think about the fake humility of players now, and LeBron might be the worst, but he doesn't even hide it. He just flat out says it. But it's like these guys that come on and say, I just want to thank the Lord for making me so goddamn good. And I'm really humbled to be able to be better than everyone else.
Insane, man. I tell you, man.
He's 40. He's 40 on his own show, continuing to slip in compliments for himself. Jesus Christ, let someone else say it once. Once in your career, can you let somebody else say it?
Yeah, you know what, AOH too. You know what would have been real refreshing in a moment like that when he was on the Pat McAfee show or any other podcast that he did. I'm sorry, what did you say, AOH?
For him to stop breathing, that'd be refreshing.
I would have said if he would have came out and said, I was able to take the team to the 07 finals, but I was horrible in those finals. I was bad. I wasn't there. I didn't show up for my team. If he would have said something like that, I could respect that. If he says I was horrendous, I was horrible in those finals, even though I was able to lead us there, I wasn't able to get across the finish line because I was terrible. I just wasn't there. My teammates had my back, but I didn't show up and play to my top level. Because in the reality, and what Uncut Hoops is mentioning with Drew Gooden and him being the second best player or the best player for half that series, is the defensive job that the Cleveland Cavaliers did as a whole down low. Anderson Varejao, Julius Ilgauskas, and Drew Gooden. If you guys watch that series, what you'll notice from someone like Tim Duncan, who we all represent or recognize as a top 10 player all time, is probably the greatest power forward of all time without questions asked, right? Well, in those 07 finals, Tim Duncan wasn't that great. All right, he was good, but he wasn't Tim Duncan great in those finals. And yet still, they still swept the Cavaliers. Why is that? Why wasn't Tim Duncan that great in those finals? Because of the work, the collective group of Big Z, of Drew Gooden, of Anderson Varejao, and the defense of the Cavaliers was excellent that season. So for some reason, people try to act as if LeBron James was playing hellified defense by himself. He was scoring all these points by himself, when that's not necessarily the case. And when you watch those games and you see what was going on, they did a great job on Tim Duncan. You can argue that was his worst NBA Finals, statistically at least, however, you can point that out because of the collective job that Cleveland did.
Yeah, if Ilgauskas is going to maybe neutralize is a strong word, but reduce Duncan to that extent, half the battle is won.
Yep.
And if LeBron James is LeBron James, then that should have been the difference maker.
Right.
I mean, why wasn't LeBron James just dominating the living shit out of whoever, even if they switched? He should have dominated the shit out of anyone that they put on him.
Exactly.
I don't give a shit if he was young. What is this? Is that his fifth season? Fourth season? Fifth season?
That was what, his third season, I believe?
It doesn't matter. And it doesn't even matter if
season.
It wouldn't even matter if he came out of junior high and went to the finals. If you're that guy and you're wearing the crown of that guy, then you can't stop being that guy when it matters the most. The thing is, he didn't play poorly for someone his age. He played poorly even compared to himself. He got worse.
Yep.
He got worse, which means he exposed his mental weakness as a true competitor in pressure moments. It's not that, the kid wasn't ready. This became LeBron James throughout his career. It wasn't a one-off. I know that they ended up winning sometimes, but that was because he was super stacked.
That's a great point you made, AOH, and that's the point that Uncut Hoops was also making in the video. You see, it's not necessary that people are knocking LeBron James for losing that finals, because let's be real, the Cavs were not supposed to win that finals. They probably weren't going to win those finals unless LeBron James was going to raise his level of play to some crazy level. But like you just mentioned, not only did LeBron James not raise his level of play, his play went down. So Uncut, who mentioned, it's not necessarily that he lost the finals, but it's how he lost those finals.
Exactly.
He was horrendous in those finals. And you mentioned the age. LeBron James, I believe, was 22 years old at this point. This was his fourth season in the NBA. So they use the age oftentimes as an excuse. But once again, it's not about the losses for LeBron James. It's how he's losing. And when you look at LeBron James at 22 years old, and let's look at Michael Jordan as a rookie, guys, at 22 years old. Now, we understand Michael Jordan went to college. We get that. But that's a decision, a choice that Michael Jordan made to go to college and play for 3 seasons at North Carolina. LeBron James made that decision to go to the league. That's on him, man. And I'm not saying he wasn't ready to go to the NBA. By all accounts, he was ready. But when you watch Michael Jordan's game, guys, at 22 years old, that first year on the Bulls, his rookie season, and you look at LeBron James at 22 years old in his 4th season in the league, can anyone really tell me that Michael Jordan's overall quote-unquote bag wasn't more well-rounded than LeBron James? In 07, one of the biggest problems for LeBron James was he couldn't shoot. Michael Jordan could shoot the ball way better than LeBron James ever could at any point in time of his career. If you look at Michael Jordan those first couple of seasons in the league, guys, what you'll notice from Michael Jordan was that he didn't really have the touch that he developed. So a lot of his shots were more line drive. However, Michael Jordan was able to use the glass way more effective than I've ever seen LeBron James. Go watch the videos. Michael Jordan had the off-glass game. He had the double clutch in the lane. He had a lot of different variations of shots. That's why when he scored that 63 against Boston, who was a hellified defensive team, his points came in a wide variety of shots, not just dunks and layups. This man was hitting these guys with all kinds of shots. I mean, it was insane.
Jolly Joshams says, with a super chat, thank you, Jolly, that narrative is the original sin that led people to think having a top 5 two-way player in AD and all the talent in LA wasn't good enough to win. Yeah. I mean, if we've learned anything, it doesn't matter who LeBron gets. It's never going to be good enough. I mean, Jesus Christ, how quickly did Luka go from a superstar to a problem in the media?
Yeah, shout out to John Joshua, man, always coming through.
Go ahead and read Top Dog if you want.
Yeah, shout out to Top Dog. How is LeBron even the GOAT of his own era? Steph Curry owns the trash. Yeah, yo, shout out to Top Dog. I told you guys, man, I have Steph Curry over LeBron James all the time. I'm done with it. I told you guys a couple months back, I'm done with LeBron James, man, and this being his era. Steph Curry, to me, has been more consistent. He's been more respected. And like I said, when you think about the championships that he won without Kevin Durant wasn't even there. He still won those 2 championships. And to me, Steph Curry was greater in the era than Steph Curry has accomplished the same amount as LeBron James has in less time and with less help, man, in my opinion.
Absolutely, without question. I really wish I could get a LeBron fan to respond. You guys, do you run into LeBron fans that walk around sneak complimenting themselves? Wait, he's so fucking slimy, man.
It really is, man. Like I said, when you look at the way that LeBron James played in those finals, he has to own that, but he will never own that. Because why? They have to have this narrative that LeBron James was able to do something that no one else could do. Remember, that's why, to me, that's probably the worst narrative out there, is that LeBron James carried that bum team to the finals. Because they're always going to use that. And how many times have you guys seen? You guys in the chat, you guys say the same thing, right? You guys say the same thing. LeBron James fans love to say, Michael Jordan couldn't have taken that 07 Cavs team to the finals. I've heard professional analysts, broadcasters, ex-NBA players say this. Oh, Michael Jordan couldn't take that 07 Cavs team to the finals. And once again, when they say that, are they not remembering the Eastern Conference that LeBron James played in versus Michael Jordan? I had someone say something to me earlier when I posted a screenshot of LeBron James' numbers in the finals, and he said, that to be fair, Michael Jordan wasn't in the finals at age 22. And I started laughing. I said, yeah, no duh. Go look at the teams that were in the Eastern Conference when Michael Jordan was playing from 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, whatever you want to say. When he first came in the league, those first 2, 3, 4, 5 years, this man wasn't going against the Washington Wizards with Gilbert Arenas. He wasn't going against no teams like that. Now, LeBron James was going against some of the weakest teams ever, guys. Weak teams. Michael Jordan was going against some of the most legendary teams. The 86 Celtics. Like, come on, what are we talking about here, guys? So once again, you're not keeping the same energy, so to speak, for the conferences that LeBron James was able to dominate versus what Michael Jordan had to deal with when he came in the league in the mid to late 80s, trying to battle through some of these teams, man, that were stacked rosters.
Did you remember that Mo Williams had a 52-point game?
I do remember him putting up 50 points in a game before. Mo Williams is one of those guys where he can get hot shooting the ball.
Scotty's best is 47.
Yeah, exactly. And these are kind of some of the things that we talk about. I often say that Kyrie Irving, just Kyrie Irving, guys, has more 40-point games in the finals playing alongside LeBron James than Scottie Pippen has 30-point games in the finals playing alongside Michael Jordan. And the amount of games that Scottie Pippen played alongside Michael Jordan in the finals is way more than the amount of games that Kyrie Irving and LeBron James played in the finals together. And this man averaged to have 2 40-point games alongside LeBron James. So when you're playing with a guy that's that potent and people are still making excuses for you, it doesn't make any sense.
Is that on the screen?
Yes. Want me to read it?
Sure.
Shout out to my man Gundam U, always coming through. For someone who talks about efficiency, LeBron wasn't efficient nor effective during the 07 finals. All he had to do was elevate his game. See, exactly. Shout out to Gundam U. Michael Jordan, guys. Can anyone tell me in NBA finals where Michael Jordan played like LeBron James in 07 or LeBron James in 2011? And then once again, this is not to say that, everyone's perfect, but Michael Jordan, guys, in the finals, he always raised his level of play. And we've talked about these kinds of things. There were many scenarios. There were many times and instances in those finals where the Bulls could have went down 2-0 or went down 3-2 in some of these game fives with the series tied 2 games apiece. Remember, I talked about 91, game 3 with the series tied 1 apiece. They could have easily went down 2-1, but Michael Jordan raised his level of play. He made big-time baskets. There was a clip there that Uncut Hoop showed. I can't remember what game it was. It might have been game 3. I think it might have been game 3. The Cavaliers were down by 3 points. It was 75-72, I believe. There was 5 or 6 seconds left on the clock. They inbound the ball to LeBron James, and LeBron James proceeds to chuck up a 3-point shot from Steph Curry range with 4.9 seconds left to go on the clock. So why are you taking a 3-point shot 4, 5, 6 steps behind the 3-point line when you had enough time to get a little bit closer to the 3-point line and get a better quality shot? But instead, LeBron James chucked up a 3 because he doesn't have a go-to move. He doesn't know what to do in those moments. He's unsure of himself. And in those moments, Michael Jordan's not unsure of himself. Kobe Bryant's not unsure of himself. Larry Bird's not unsure of himself. Magic Johnson was a rookie at 20 years old in the NBA Finals, but no one makes excuses for Magic Johnson and what he had to do when Kareem Abdul-Jabbar went down. They'll talk to you, LeBron James didn't have Kyrie Irving or Kevin Love, in this series. All that does is give LeBron James an opportunity to raise his level of play. Just like Magic Johnson was given that opportunity in 1980 to make a play, to raise up. And what did Magic Johnson do with that opportunity? He took it by the horns, by the throat.
You want to read that comment that I threw up on the main screen? Not the super chat.
Yeah, the only play on the Cavs, the only play on the Cavs who had a subpar performance was LBJ. The other guys stepped up. Exactly.
That's from the 2000. That's from the press in 2009 after being heavily favored over Orlando.
Oh wow, that's it. Don't even get me started on Orlando.
Heavily favored. You remember, and I included this in my video, but I'll bring it up. You remember how Rich Paul recently said, Michael Jordan never had to deal with being the underdog. Guess what? LeBron was heavily favored a lot. You just don't hear about it because of the protection for LeBron James. LeBron James failed on his way to the finals while being heavily favored.
Exactly.
For some reason, we've been taught to only look at the finals and pretend like LeBron didn't have a shitload of failures in between his finals appearances in which he was favored.
Great point, AOH. It's funny when they talk about the subpar performance from LBJ and the other guys showed up. This is a classic scenario for LeBron James, man. His teammates still somehow, some way managed to show up for him in some of these moments, even though they're not allowed to be the best versions of themselves. Michael Jordan, a lot of the great players, they allowed their teammates to be the best version of themselves, to do whatever it is that they do well. What does LeBron James force a lot of his teammates to do? Get out the paint, stand on the perimeter, right? He forces them to do things that they're not accustomed to doing. I remember J.R. Smith coming to the Cleveland Cavaliers, that second stint. They transformed the athletic, high flyer, unpredictable J.R. Smith, who you never knew you could get from him offensively. He could go off for 40 points, J.R. Smith, or drop 30 on you, right? He could have some spectacular dunks, some plays that you're like, damn, how did he pull that out? But what did LeBron James force J.R. Smith to do? J.R. Smith had to mold, adjust, and adapt his game to become a 3-and-D guy. Does anybody remember J.R. Smith as being a defensive guy, a defender? I don't remember him ever being a defender like that. But he had to do that for the Cleveland Cavaliers, for LeBron James. And in fact, when you think about the 2017 NBA Finals, it was guys like J.R. Smith, the Iman Chumpers, the Richard Jeffersons, the Jeff Greens that were forced to guard Kevin Durant more often than they should have ever been trying to guard Kevin Durant. At that moment in time, you're talking about primetime Kevin Durant being guarded by Iman Shumpert and Richard Jefferson and Jeff Green. Richard Jefferson was like damn near 36 years old at that point. And you got this man guarding Kevin Durant. Once again, are any of those guys known as great all-time great defenders? But LeBron James, I'll tell us, could guard 1 through 5. But he's had so many opportunities 1 through 5. When we talk about the 07 finals, Tony Parker, who's a point guard, was destroying the Cavaliers. Now, I'm not saying that LeBron James should have shut Tony Parker down every single game, blah, blah, blah. However, if you're going to promote him as a 1 through 5 guy that can guard all these positions, then there must be some evidence to support this. Is what I'm talking about. You should be able to show me the 07 finals and be like, yo, look what this dude LeBron James was doing against Tony Parker. Remember, Tim Duncan was taken down a peg, right? But what did Tony Parker do? He raised his level of play. I want you guys to think about something. Does anyone in the chat think that Michael Jordan, if you put him on the Cavaliers team, I'm not saying they would win, I'm not saying any of that, but does anyone think that Tony Parker would outscore Michael Jordan in the finals? Tony Parker outscored LeBron James in the finals. That would never happen to Michael Jordan, man.
Yeah, LeBron's a big dude. I don't know why, if he was the man, considering that he's also supposed to be the most athletic guy, and today they're still talking about him supposedly being in great shape, there's no excuse for him not to take on the responsibility of guarding Kevin Durant other than fear, other than unwillingness. I understand that the positions didn't necessarily match up all the time, but who are you so busy with guarding LeBron that was more threatening than Kevin Durant? I mean, obviously, he's not going to guard Curry because Curry would fucking go around him every single time. Again, he's not an elite defender. Curry can fucking go around LeBron James whenever he wants to, back then and now.
Yep.
Read that.
And listen, I'm not disrespecting Tony Parker here. Tony Parker was a great scorer at that position. Tony Parker used to be one of the top leaders in points in the paint during the regular season. Tony Parker's ability to get in the paint and create in the paint, he was a great finisher, Tony Parker, but he wasn't known as a scorer like that, not to be outscoring LeBron James, because remember, they tell us LeBron James is the greatest scorer of all time. So the greatest scorer of all time in 07 was outscored by Tony Parker. Tony Parker, guys. Come on, man. It's insane when people try to make these stretches and put these kinds of narratives out there. When you talk about him not taking the challenge of Kevin Durant, if you go back and watch that series, I watched the entire series live in 2017, guys. Once again, I was around for this stuff, man. What you noticed was that they were switching the screens. But when you look at the screens, they're not even screens. These guys are doing flare screens. So they're not even really screening anybody. They're doing a fake screen and going like this, and they were just switching for no reason. There was no reason to switch. These are not the screens that Michael Jordan was getting run through in the Indiana Pacers. These aren't the same screens that the New York Knicks were setting out there. I saw Michael Jordan try to set a screen on Anthony Mason when it was on the Knicks, and Anthony Mason ran right through Michael Jordan like he wasn't there. And what did they say? He was sending a message to Michael Jordan. Don't try to screen me from behind, dude. I'm going to run you over.
Reed, praise the Don.
Absolutely. Yo, shout out to Praise the Don, man. Always coming through. When LeBron lost in 07, it was he's young. But they didn't have those same excuses when he beat a 21, 23-year-old OKC in 2002 or a young Tatum and Brown. I'm so tired of these social reject LeBron fans. That's a great comment. And you came with the facts. You see what my man Praise the Don did there? He gave you evidence to support what he's saying. He talked about they claimed LeBron James was young in 07, but then you think about Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, James Harden in 2012 when LeBron was on his super team, and then you think about the Tatum and Brown Celtics when he beat them in 2018, I believe that was, in the Eastern Conference Finals, man. They were like 19. I think Tatum was 19 years old in that series. They won't keep the same energy.
What was Michael Jordan's age when he won an Olympic gold medal, led the Olympic team? What was Michael Jordan's age when he won an NCAA championship?
Exactly. Hey, wait, those are more great points, man. They only use the age as an excuse because LeBron James was so bad in those finals. There's no other way there's no other angle to go with it. And like I said, part of that is LeBron James not having a well-rounded game. Remember, LeBron James is one of those guys, when he first came in the league, he was getting by off his athleticism. And by all means, it was working to a degree. LeBron James had flashes, right? He showed great flashes of, promise, getting up and down the court, the dunks, right? He would have some games where he had the shots falling. I told you, a sun shines on a dog's ass once in a while. And that's LeBron James' career. Every once in a while, the sun shines. So LeBron James will go behind the back. He'll pull a move out. He'll go between the legs. Yeah, you'll have a couple of highlights, but that's not consistently going down that way for LeBron James, man.
Yeah, I thought about how the Spurs game plan was to take away the lane from LeBron, and the Cavaliers, were trying hard to spread the floor for LeBron. And why? Because LeBron can't really do anything other than drive the paint. So, how good of a player can you be when the defensive plan against you is that simple? Now, I'm sure the Bulls tried to spread the floor also with some of the people that they brought in, but Michael Jordan didn't need that in order to score. Michael Jordan could score inside and outside.
Yep.
If anything, maybe they spread the floor so that Michael Jordan didn't have to keep being murdered when he went inside. But Michael Jordan, the team wasn't built to spread the floor because the only option Jordan had was to drive, which it kind of seems like that was LeBron James's main option. That's a very limited bag.
And you know what's interesting, AOH, but you just brought up there a great point, is when Michael Jordan was playing against a team like the Detroit Pistons, right? And they had the Jordan rules, right? And they were trying to do this and trying to do that. Like you just said, even though they were trying to hurt Michael Jordan and keep him out the paint, trying to keep him from, you heard them say, you don't let Michael Jordan take off and get in the air because he's unstoppable once he gets in the air. He's going to dunk it on you, or he's going to finish with some crazy layup around the defense, and he's going to get the crowd going. He's going to get the team pumped up. But that never deterred Michael Jordan from going in there. He still went in there. And I remember hearing the quotes from some of the Detroit Pistons coaches at the time. And they were literally saying, I don't know how this man survived this. And I don't know how he kept coming back for that kind of abuse. Remember, Dennis Rodman said, we were physically trying to hurt him. They weren't making any mistakes about this. Imagine if someone came out today and said, yeah, we were really trying to hurt LeBron James out there. Yeah. They were trying to do it to Michael Jordan, and he still kept coming back after them. That's the Rocky Balboa mentality, man.
Short and sweet with the super chat says, they were first seed twice because of LeBron? Yeah, sure. And Rob Parker tried to argue this point and says, wait a minute. If the Cavs were so bad, why were they the number one seed? Why were they winning 66 games? And of course, Kelvin just screams, it was because of LeBron. Like, well, then how come they didn't lose because of LeBron in the playoffs? All of a sudden, that's the team's fault? See, the things, LeBron doesn't raise his game in the playoffs. Michael Jordan did, which is crazy because his regular season numbers were already unbelievable. He found a way to bring it up even further. LeBron doesn't. That's the difference. If you don't say anything else, saying that is enough. Michael Jordan.
Great point, AOH.
Michael Jordan is that inch that gets you the first down,
Every 60-win team that Michael Jordan was a part of won an NBA championship. So if Michael Jordan's team is built to win 60 games, and guess what? You give him a squad, he's winning a championship. LeBron James' team wins 66 games, and they still lose in the finals, or they still lose in the playoffs, because LeBron James is not raising his level of play, man. And like you just said, they'll say that they won those games because of LeBron James. But when they lose, it's not because of him. It's because of some other reason, or some other team, or the fans' fault, or it's the general manager's fault, the owner's fault. It's Dan Gilbert's fault.
It's always blame. There's always an element of blame in a LeBron conversation. I'm going to grab a drink. Holler at these people for me.
Oh, this is what I do, baby. Shout out to all you guys in the chat, man. I'm going to see if I can read off some of you guys here. I see you guys out there. Shout out to my man, Lou. Shout out to Zizza Plays. Like I said, Willie Simons. Shout out Seaman. Shout out to you, Rockin' Jock. Legend of Experiment. MG. Much respect to you guys. I really appreciate all you guys always coming through, man. And like I said, if you guys, BW was good. If you guys did not see Uncut Hoops video, his latest video, don't leave the live stream to go watch it now. I'll come out there and come find you guys. But I'm telling you, after the live, go back and watch it if you haven't watched it. It's a good refresher from the 07 finals that I'm sure a lot of LeBron James fans, they don't want to watch that video. I'm telling you guys right now, Uncut Hoops, my man, the Czar, AOH, they're always giving you guys the video footage to verify what I'm telling you. So if you come to my channel and you think I'm just some guy rambling on here, oh, this guy just yelling, he's just ranting on, saying nonsense. No, Everything that I say to you guys is verified through the video footage of the actual game and the way it went down. I did a video on the 07 finals long time ago, and I basically said LeBron James was horrible in those finals. There's no other way to slice it. So a lot of times, LeBron James supporters will just mention 2011. They'll say, yeah, we get it. LeBron James was bad in 2011, but there was no other time that you could point to that he was like that. Well, 2007 is another example. He was horrendous. And in the video, my man Uncut Hoops highlighted, it wasn't just 07, but 2008, 2009, 2010, 2011. That entire 5-year stretch, guys, LeBron James was terrible. He did not raise his level of play, maximize his teammates so that we understand and we now know who these guys are. Like I always said, when we were growing up, when I was growing up in the 80s and the 90s, guys, and we were watching a team like the Chicago Bulls, we knew the role players and we respected them. And why did we respect the role players on the Chicago Bulls that were playing alongside Michael Jordan? We didn't trash those guys. Oh, Michael Jordan's playing with bums. He's carrying bums out there. Those guys are trash. No, what was often said was Michael Jordan was out there playing with role players. But that wasn't a disrespectful term. Now, to be a role player is disrespectful. When we were growing up watching the game back in the day, being a role player was respectable. To have a job and to do your job at that level, to contribute to a championship team as a role player was valuable. You needed the B.J. Armstrongs. You needed the John Paxsons. You need the Cliff Livingstons, right? You need the Bill Cartwrights. You need the Stacey Kings, the Scott Williams. You needed all of those guys doing their jobs. And why were they allowed to do their jobs? Because Michael Jordan enabled them to do their jobs. He sacrificed the playing system so that those guys could play their role and help him win.
See these guys on the screen here?
Yep.
They did their jobs.
Yep.
But with the exception of Bill Cartwright, who was traded for a draft pick, and John Paxson being a free agent pickup, those guys were drafted to the Bulls. They just made it work, or Michael Jordan made it work.
Imagine LeBron James winning with that roster. And listen, Michael Jordan didn't just win with that roster. The man three-peated with that roster, going against some tough teams in the Eastern Conference, going against some tough competition in the NBA Finals, even though they want to say they didn't play anybody. Michael Jordan raised his level of play, and he raised his teammates up to a level where they can always help him. You know what's funny? When we talk about the teammates and what he allowed them to do and what he did for these guys, Michael Jordan, right, he allowed them to be there for him. He gave them the confidence so John Paxson could be there for him. When he needed John Paxson in 1991, John Paxson was there for him. When he needed John Paxson in 1993, John Paxson was there for him. And remember, in 93, John Paxson lost his starting job. B.J. Armstrong became the starter. John Paxson went to a reserve role, the backup point guard role. And he still was able to come in 1993 and hit that big shot in the finals. Why? Because he was prepared. Not just because of Michael Jordan, but because of the work that he put in. The standard that Michael Jordan held for his teammates allowed them to be there for him in those moments. He gave them the confidence to believe in themselves. And they knew that Michael Jordan trusted them in those moments.
It's almost like you watched my members only video, because I talked about how this didn't change the championship team 91, 92, 93, with the exception of B.J. Armstrong taking Bill Paxson's spot due to the injury. And, Armstrong did pretty well. But again, only one on this screen not drafted to the Bulls is Bill Cartwright. They just kept sticking with it, and you had to make it work.
Think about Bill Cartwright, guys. And, Bill Cartwright played for the New York Knicks, and he was a quality player for the New York Knicks, man. He had some injuries, came to Chicago Bulls. They needed Bill Cartwright for his size, right? Because back in them days, you needed big bodies. So you had the Will Produce, you had the Stacey Kings. You needed a body. But by all accounts, from what I've seen, when Bill Cartwright on the Chicago Bulls is the equivalent of Zildjius Ilgauskas on the Cleveland Cavaliers. All right? And by all accounts, Zildjius Ilgauskas was better than Bill Cartwright on the Chicago Bulls during that time. Could you imagine LeBron James going on a three-peat with that roster, with Bill Cartwright as his starting center? They would be celebrating LeBron James till the end of time. Oh, LeBron James three-peated with bums. He carried a bunch of scrubs. Scottie Pippen would be a bum playing alongside LeBron James, guys. Make no mistake about it. Does anyone think that Scottie Pippen's going to survive 89 and 90? The dude got elbowed in the head by Bill Laimbeer in Game 6 and 89, played 2 minutes, guys, and didn't play the rest of the game. He came out the game because of that elbow by Bill Laimbeer. And then remember, he followed that up by saying, hold my beer. And in Game 7, he scored 2 points and had a migraine. A migraine? What was he, PMSing? I don't understand it. And a lot of people were saying that Scottie Pippen didn't have a migraine, that he was just nervous and he was all messed up in the mind because the Detroit Pistons had him psyched out. So he was mentally.
They should have given him some cranberry juice on the sideline. Praise the Don.
He would have traded Scottie Pippen out of there, man. Scottie Pippen would have been traded after those 2 series.
I know.
He would have went right to the ownership. He would have said, listen, we got to get rid of this guy, Scottie Pippen, man. I can't win with this dude. He's trash. He's always hurt. He's never there when I need him. He would have got rid of Scottie Pippen. You think that he would have kept Phil Jackson around? When Phil Jackson comes to the team and say, hey, Mike, we're going to take the ball out of your hands a little bit, man, and we're going to run a system here. We're going to allow these other guys to bring the ball up, initiate the offense. We're going to have you guys. Everyone's going to have an equal opportunity. You know, I posted a short video a couple of weeks ago, and it was a clip from it was the 1992 Eastern Conference Finals versus the Cleveland Cavaliers. I can't remember. It might have been Game 4, I think. So in that Game 4, the Bulls lost to the Cavaliers, and the Cavaliers were a very good team in 1992. A lot of you guys remember that Cleveland Cavaliers team with Brad Daugherty and Mark Price and Larry Nance. They were a very good team, right? Very well coached by Lenny Wilkins. But there was a clip there where Scottie Pippen was being, upset, acting like a baby, and he said, I only got 3 shots in the second half. And he's complaining about the amount of shots that he got in the second half. And he's saying, I can't do my thing if I'm not allowed to get shots, and I can't do this. And then they cut to Phil Jackson's response, and they asked Phil Jackson about that, and he says, I don't know. You have to ask Scottie Pippen why he only took 3 shots, because that's not how our offense works. We don't run plays for Jordan. We don't run plays for Scottie. We don't run plays for Horace Grant. It's an equal opportunity offense. Yes, he said we have named targets, but there is no I'm calling a play for Jordan. All right, so remember that Scottie Pippen has always been a baby, has always been jealous and envious of Michael Jordan.
He was the first LeBron in quite a few ways.
Yeah, basically, yes.
Praise the Dawn. Thank you for another super chat. Allen Iverson, 01 Sixers are worse than the 07 Cavs, but they won't bring that up. LeBron gets credit for beating Bug-Eye Gilbert's 41-41 Wizards. It's a joke.
Yo, remember, praise the Don. Gilbert Arenas did not even play in that series. He didn't play in the playoffs in that series. He was out for that series. I believe Caron Butler was also out in that series. So when we think about him playing the Wizards, it's even more of a joke, my man, Praise the Don. And once again, Praise the Don brought receipts. He talked about the 01 Sixers, and we see what Allen Iverson did. If you want to say somebody was carrying a team, right? And I'm not going to sit there and say carrying bumps because I don't disrespect players like that. But if you want to say someone was carrying a team, carrying some role players, what Allen Iverson did during that run was amazing. And like I said, he didn't get swept in his finals. Somehow, some way, Allen Iverson found a way at 6. Remember, Allen Iverson's 6 feet tall in heels, all right, and weighs about 150 pounds. But somehow, some way, Allen Iverson, with the heart, the grit, the toughness of Allen Iverson, the aggressiveness, the relentlessness of Allen Iverson, he was able to win one game against the powerhouse 3-peat Lakers. LeBron James couldn't even win one game against the 07 Spurs. I mean, what are we talking about here? It's not the same. Also, we can take it a step further. What about Jason Kidd in 02 and 03 when he took that New Jersey Nets team? He led that New Jersey Nets team to back-to-back finals appearances. They won't talk about that for Jason Kidd. Who was Jason Kidd playing with? Guys like Richard Jefferson, who was like in his second year, first year. Kenyon Martin, who was in his second year in the NBA. And somehow, some way, he led these young guys, a bunch of no-name guys that you don't. Jason Collins, the first openly gay basketball player in NBA's history. No knock on gay people, man. But this is who Jason Kidd was playing with, man. Guys that you don't even remember. Guys like Lucius Harris. Guys like Aaron Williams. Do you remember these guys? This is who Jason Kidd took to the finals.
You are probably going to do pretty good on this, but I'm going to do an instant quiz. I wish I had somebody else to ask. I know you know basketball from the old school too well, so you probably can name most of these people. You're gonna. I just want to see how fast you can, and see how fast the people in the
Why you
chat
gonna put me on the
can.
spot, man?
It's for a good cause. Okay, obviously you got Dwight Howard, and go with the rest.
So we got Dwight Howard, my man Hedo Turkoglu, Rashard Lewis, Keith Bogans, and Jameer Nelson.
Who?
Keith Bogans and Jameer Nelson. Now, Keith Bogans was known as a defensive player. So,
Oh, was he?
Yeah,
Was he?
Keith Bogans was known as like a stout guy. Like I said, not one of those great defenders, but a guy that's going to come in there and play defense, right? And be a scrappy
Never
player.
heard that name in my life.
Yes. And once again,
I told you, you're the wrong person.
You're
You passed too well. You were the wrong person for me to ask. And there's no way, no one else is going to do as well as you just did on that shit. I thought one of them had to be Rafer Alston because he was on that team.
Yeah, so if everyone remembers that 2009 Orlando Magic team, they were a very good team. They're a good team. No one's saying that they weren't a good team, but they shouldn't have beat the Cavaliers. And Jameer Nelson, if you guys remember, the part of the problem for the Magic was Jameer Nelson did not start. I think he ended up getting hurt, and he did not start the finals. They had to bring. I think they actually brought in Rafer Alston to start. If I remember correctly, I'm not sure, but I remember Jameer Nelson got hurt. But when you watch that series in 2009 against the Cavaliers, Hedo Turkoglu was running roughshod over LeBron James, man. Now, I know LeBron James' numbers look good on paper. You look at the numbers. Once again, they look at the numbers. Oh, LeBron James did what he could. What more can LeBron James do? What LeBron James could have done was playing damn defense. He ain't playing no goddamn defense. Hedo Turkoglu was running roughshod. He made Hedo Turkoglu, look like Magic Johnson out there. Hedo Turkoglu was dropping dimes. He was getting in the lanes. He was hitting people off. And why did LeBron James guard Dwight Howard? Once again, another instance where LeBron James could have jumped Dwight Howard, showed and proved, hey, LeBron James guarded 1 through 5, man, when it mattered most. He didn't do that. And remember, Dwight Howard said that his team took it personal because Nike was pumping up the rivalry or the potential matchup of Kobe Bryant and LeBron James in the finals with those Nike puppet dolls. Dwight Howard and the Orlando Magic, they took it personal. They took a page from Michael Jordan's book.
Is Dwight Howard 6'10" or 6'11"?
Yeah, I think he's somewhere around 6'10", 6'11". Oh, yo, listen, man, much respect to Dwight Howard.
That barely makes him taller than LeBron.
Absolutely. Can't guard 1 through 5, man. Listen, there's no legit center in NBA's history that LeBron James is guarding up and down the court, man. Yeah, maybe he can guard Rashko Nesterovic, you know what I'm saying, or some guy you never heard of. Yeah, absolutely, no doubt about it. He can maybe stand in front of the guy, but there's no legit center that LeBron James is guarding. Once again, you tell me he's guarding any legit center in the 90s? Come on, man. When we talk about Dennis Rodman, and I tell you guys that to me, Dennis Rodman is the most versatile defender that I've seen with my eyes because I saw him guard these guys when it mattered most consistently, right? I saw Dennis Rodman guarding Michael Jordan. I saw him guarding Larry Bird. I saw him guarding Magic Johnson when it mattered most in the playoffs, in the finals. I saw him, Dennis Rodman guarding Karl Malone in the finals. I watched him guard Shaquille O'Neal in the Eastern Conference Finals, right? We watched him guard all these kinds of guys. Sean Kemp. Dennis Rodman was so versatile, but it wasn't just because we just said he was. Oh, yeah, Dennis Rodman, he's the most versatile. No, it's because we actually watched him do it at those levels.
Unpopular truth with the super chat says LeBron fans love to say MJ went 1-9 in the playoffs until Pippen, but LeBron didn't even make the playoffs at all until Larry Hughes got there. I think you're quoting one of my videos, or at least I want to think that you are, but I'm glad that you mentioned it. But
yeah, shout out to Unpopular Truth. That's a great point. Yep. See, that's all they got. And you know what's real funny is we never heard any of that 1-9 stuff until the LeBron James fans started to talk about Scottie Pippen and then talk about Michael Jordan. But Michael Jordan doesn't get excuses made for him when he was losing, putting up otherworldly numbers his first 4 or 5 years. But they'll give LeBron James excuses for losing when he wasn't putting up half the numbers during those times that Michael Jordan was. Michael Jordan was averaging 40 and still losing. And then they want to talk about, oh, it's because Scottie Pippen why he won.
You were mentioning disrespect earlier, and we still have to get to Bleacher Report. I got to ask you, Did Dominique Wilkins make the top 100 because he didn't make the top 75? Did they put Dominique at least in the top 100?
Yo, that's a great question. AOH, hold on. I gotta look into this, man. I gotta look into this. Hold on, man. You just blew my mind with this.
Rise above anything with the super says MJ always elevated his play. He never blamed others. God, it's almost like it was a different world, a different planet, different versions of men. Like the shit that LeBron James says was just, you'd get the crap beaten out of you by an adult back then. We can't let kids like this grow up.
Does anybody in the chat know if Dominique Wilkins was in the top 100?
You know what? I don't. Who cares? It's fucking Bleacher Report.
No, but that's interesting that you said that he wasn't
I know
a
it is.
top 75 player. Was that true?
Oh, yeah. No, remember Ernie Johnson got all pissed off that Dominique didn't get included in the top 75? Isn't that right?
That's insane, man.
Or is he not in the Hall of Fame, or what is it? He got dissed.
Oh no, he's in the Hall of Fame. I know that.
Okay, I think it was. I think he got left off an important list.
Hold on, I gotta look at this. Hold
on. Oh man, fucking Bleacher Report. So I'm creating my own sports journalism website. It's going to be called In the Stands, to combat organizations like Bleacher Report. And I'm going to ask really, really important questions. It's going to be top-notch journalism on the level of your typical living room. Like, catch the ball, make it, pass it, which will still be better than the content of Bleacher Report. I don't know why Robin had to leave the screen to research something. I'm sure someone in the chat has already answered it.
I mean, from what I'm looking at, it looks like he was in the top 100.
According to Bleacher Report, goody.
You know what's really sad? To me, Dominique Wilkins, and see, this is why I love the lives that we do, because we really go in all different avenues. And we mention multiple players on these live streams. You know, a lot of times people will try to knock us and say, oh, you guys are just talking about LeBron again. Nah, man, we talk about a lot of different players. We bring up a lot of players to recognize what they did in relation to some of the nonsense that we see now. And when I think about someone like Dominique Wilkins, this man's become grossly undervalued for his NBA career. And why is that? Because once again, when Dominique Wilkins came in the league, he was dealing with some of the greatest teams, some of the greatest players that's ever played the game, man. So you think about Dominique Wilkins, he comes into the league, I believe in like 1982 or something like that, or 83, whatever it was. And now he's having to deal with the Detroit Pistons, the Larry Bird Celtics, the Philadelphia Sixers with Dr. J and Moses Malone, the Milwaukee Bucks with Sidney Moncrief, right? I mean, there were just so many great teams in the Eastern Conference. And Dominique Wilkins, to me, he gets overshadowed because of someone like Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, the great players at that time.
It's a tough time to have been Dominique. Dominique's very likable.
Would probably have a 5 or 6, or at least 4 or 5 scoring titles if it wasn't for Michael Jordan.
Read the super chat, if you don't mind.
Absolutely. Shout out to JC coming through with the super. Braun 07 stats, 22 points per game, 7 rebounds per game, 6.8 assists per game, 35% field goal, 5.8 turnovers. That's 23 turnovers in 4 games.
5.8 turnovers a game. How do you win?
My man said pure
you
basura.
Can't win.
Basura, bro.
That's
straight
win.
Trash. Straight trash. That is complete crap. A complete crap. That's what that is. I mean, my goodness. How do you have the man had more turnovers in the NBA Finals than his entire team combined, guys? Everyone else. And remember, the San Antonio Spurs, guys, had 52 turnovers in the 4-game series. The Cleveland Cavaliers had 44, and LeBron James had half of them. So when you talk about the other guys on the team, the crap that LeBron James, the bums he was carrying to the finals, LeBron James had more turnovers than all those bums combined.
Yeah, when I did my video comparing how Michael Jordan did when he got swept to LeBron when he got swept, like LeBron's not making any points. And so I'm thinking, okay, LeBron fans are saying, well, he had a lot of assists. Nope, he didn't.
Nope.
Nope. He did have a lot of turnovers. No assists, no points, and turnovers. Yay.
Yep.
Could I have him on my team? I wonder why they lost.
LeBron James had 27 assists in those finals and 23 turnovers, guys. That's terrible. Terrible. Remember, he's a pass-first player. Pass first all the way.
Right.
Pass first. You know what's funny? In that game 4, right? They lost by 1 point in game 4, guys, right? Tim Duncan had 12 points in that game, guys. 12 points. They held the great Tim Duncan to 4 for 15 shooting and 12 points in game 4. And LeBron James said, hold my beer, Tim. I'm going to go 10 for 30 and have 6 turnovers, and we're going to lose the game. Insane.
I got another graphic here from the video I just did. Look at LeBron's conference. Here, I got to get that chat off the screen. Look at the difference between 1 and 2.
Goodness gracious, man. See, that's the division. These guys, see, you know what's funny? When you think about Michael Jordan's division, when he came into the league, right, because they want to keep that same energy. Remember, back in the 80s, when Michael Jordan came in the league, the Chicago Bulls were in the same division as the Detroit Pistons, guys, the Cleveland Cavaliers. They were in the same division, and those teams were by far and away better teams than the Bulls were. So when we talk about, your conference, your division, remember, the Bulls had to play those teams 6 times. 6 times, guys. Remember, I highlighted to you guys, 1989, the Cleveland Cavaliers were the favorite, the heavy favorite to beat the Bulls in the first round, guys, right? And why were they the heavy favorite? Because if you guys recall, the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Chicago Bulls played 6 times that season. 6, guys. You know how many times the Bulls beat them? 0. They beat the Cavaliers 0 times in 1989 regular season, guys. And you know what's crazy? The last game that the Cleveland Cavaliers played the Chicago Bulls in 1989 in regular season, guys, they sat all their starters, and they still beat the Bulls. That's why in 1989, when Michael Jordan hit that shot and had an average, a crazy amount of points he averaged, that's why it was such a shocking upset. The Bulls should not have even beaten the Cleveland Cavaliers. They never beat them once in the regular season. Go look at the Cleveland Cavaliers home court record. They were almost unbeatable at home.
Dominique Wilkins talks about being left off the NBA's list of 50 greatest players ever. I'm looking this up. I'm trying to remember which fucking list it was.
Michael Knight said he's number 50 on the list.
Not on this list.
Michael Knight.
Not. I see that.
The real Michael Knight from
yes,
from the
Michael.
TV show, The Knight Rider.
That's a great theme song.
I love that show, Knight Rider, man. Shout out to David Hasselhoff. Look at you, even get a David Hasselhoff reference on the live. You see what we bring you out here? Me and AOH, you never know what's gonna get brought up.
A Hill says the fans know. Look at the TV ratings from 2007. LeBron's never moved the needle. Hey, you remember Michael Jordan?
Shout out to my man A Hill, man, a true supporter, man.
You remember after Jordan made it to the finals in 1991, but then he fell off. He just couldn't bring that same energy the next year, and they didn't make it out of the first round in 91, 92. Oh wait, no, that didn't happen to Jordan. Did it? That's.
I was like, what is he talking about? Oh my goodness, it just doesn't add up, man. It doesn't add up at all. Anyways,
man, I know. I mean, maybe you got it out of your system mostly, but I know you have more to say about Bleacher Reports.
Yeah, I mean, listen, just a couple of points on the Bleacher Report. And you guys know I did the live. I did a video. So like AOH said, I've had a lot to say, and I've said a lot. A lot of people have said a lot about the list. And we all know LeBron James is not number 2 all time, guys. We understand that immediately disqualifies their list. Immediately, your list is disqualified, in my opinion, when you have LeBron James right behind Michael Jordan, number 2. I don't want to even.
I saw Kobe's. They
Go
left
ahead,
Kobe
AOH.
out of the top 10. They left Kobe out of the top 10. I saw that. But otherwise, I didn't look. Otherwise, I didn't
Yup.
look.
I mean, I really could have stopped looking
I'm
at
a Kobe. I'm a Kobe hater, and I'm not that ridiculous.
Number 11. And listen, I know you like Steph Curry. They had Steph Curry above Kobe Bryant, number 10. I just don't see any world where Steph Curry's above Kobe Bryant. And there's no world for me that LeBron James is number 2 all time. Like I said, he's not greater than Kobe Bryant, but he's not above Larry Bird or Magic Johnson to me, or Bill Russell or Will Chamberlain or Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I'm not putting him above Tim Duncan or Hakeem Olajuwon, and I'm damn sure not putting him above Dr. J. And I want to say something, man. Where they had Dr. J ranked number 20, that is a slap in the face of Dr. J, man. I mean, that is completely disrespectful. And I'm not trying to say that because the word disrespect is thrown out a lot these days, and people don't understand really what it means. To have Dr. J at 20 is just, it's criminal. I just no other way to say it. What Dr. J did for the game of basketball and his overall game, the man was sensational. He could play the game of basketball. And because of Dr. J's ABA career that people don't want to give credit to, this man often gets slighted. You put him at number 20, Dr. J? I mean, how is Dr. J under Dirk Nowitzki? How is Dr. J under Nikola Jokic? How is Dr. J under Kevin Durant? That's insane to me.
Oh, God. You had to say it like that. Now I'm getting ill.
Crazy, man. I mean, they had Chris Paul over Jason Kidd, AOH. There's no world that I'm putting Chris Paul over Jason Kidd. There's no argument for it. There's nothing that you can point to and say, yeah, Chris Paul better than Jason Kidd. That's insane. And shout out to a lot of you guys out there, because a lot of people understand what they're trying to do here. What they're trying to do is lift up LeBron James' competition all time and lower Michael Jordan's competition all time, all while lifting up Scottie Pippen. Right? All of a sudden, Scottie Pippen's a top 30 guy. Pretty soon, he's going to be top 20 Scottie Pippen. He's going to be above Dr. J soon, Scottie Pippen, so that they can show, hey, Michael Jordan played with Scottie Pippen. All right? And they're going to try to lower Michael Jordan that way. Then James Harden over Allen Iverson, AOH. Are you kidding me right now? I'm not putting James Harden anywhere near Allen Iverson.
No. AI played so hard you felt bad for him, almost.
That's a great point. Look at the way James Harden played the game from 2017 to 2020. All that flopping, all that traveling. AI did not play the game like that. Allen Iverson was playing in an era where guys play legit defense. They can still be physical with you. And Allen Iverson, like I just said, was barely 6 feet tall, barely 180 pounds. And this man was getting slammed to the floor over and over and over again. If you go watch an Allen Iverson game, the man was on the floor more than a broom. He was just getting knocked down left and right. But did you ever see Allen Iverson do this for minutes? I've never seen that. I didn't see Allen Iverson looking for a cut in his arm and there's nothing there. See, Allen Iverson get knocked down and he get right back up.
I think out of everything LeBron does, the blinking might bug me the most. The fucking acting like he doesn't know where he is when he didn't even get fucking hit. This guy needs, oh my God. I can't say what LeBron James needs. I'm so upset at the planet that guy isn't just like the butt of every joke of every TV show on the planet. What a fucking embarrassing clown. Will you read The Real Siberius for me?
Absolutely. Shout out to The Real Siberius. Always comes through and supports our lives. Fanboys in the chat don't watch basketball. They have made multiple claims that never actually happened. They try to refute facts with lies. It's sad. That's the reality of The Real Siberius, man.
Calvin Washington.
Exactly. They're all trying to rewrite history. Remember, they're on the wrong side of history here. And they're always going to be on the wrong side of history. Because when my man AOH brings in video footage, when my man Uncut Hoops brings in video footage, there's nothing to dispute. Nothing to dispute there. You can't dispute that video footage that my man Uncut Hoops put out today. When you watch LeBron James, when I'm watching this video, I'm thinking, I told AOH this before we came on, I was wondering, why was LeBron James shooting so many three-point shots? I believe he took 23s in that series. So he averaged about 4 3-pointer attempts per game. Now, that may not seem like a lot, but remember, this is 2007, guys. And remember, this is bagless LeBron James, who had no jump shot, but he's chucking up threes. And when you look at a lot of those threes, they were forcing him and allowing him to shoot that. But instead of LeBron James closing up the gap, the distance that they were giving him, what did he do? He didn't know what to do with that stuff. So LeBron James would make bad passes. He would look awkward and clunky out there. Look at the way he played. It just showed that he had no fluidity to his game. He was stumbling and bumbling. He had no dribbling moves. He couldn't get Bruce Bowen up off him. Remember, LeBron James can't shake defenders without a screen. He needs a screen, or he needs to just grow into them. And like you've highlighted before, AOH, in that series, they were actually calling LeBron James for those offensive fouls.
Well, at least one.
At least one, yes.
Which is still better than today.
I mean, he just leveled Manu Ginobili on that play.
Yeah. Imagine that being turned into a legal play in order to allow LeBron James to continue to exist in the league. They just literally changed an offensive foul to a legal play so that LeBron James could continue to exist.
Insane, man. Insane. You know, some of these things, some of the plays that they had, and like I said, and where they ranked some of these guys. And I'm just baffled, like I said, what they're looking at. Like my man, the real Siberia said, I doubt a lot of LeBron James fans ever played basketball or played sports in general because they just don't understand what it means to compete. They just don't. I can tell by the way these people speak. You don't value competition. You don't value competitiveness. You just don't.
It makes me think of these dudes that when their team is losing, act like they need to go answer their cell phone on the sideline at the pickup court. But you ain't that important. You don't need to leave the game. You're running. You're fucking running.
But we talked about that stuff, man. Imagine you're playing street ball with LeBron or a person like LeBron James as your teammate. You know what's funny? I remember my dad talking to me when I was young about basketball, and you know, he used to talk to me and tell me, like, yeah, you know, when I played, you know, I didn't really get too crazy with trash talk, my dad would say. You know, I wasn't one of those guys that was going to trash talk or be vocal and, you know, this and that. But he told me, if my teammate wasn't hustling, if my teammate wasn't playing defense, I'm going to say something to those guys, though.
Yeah, fuck
if you're on my team, damn it. I remember my dad saying that to me.
We've all played 21 with the dude that doesn't take a turn defending, right? That's life with LeBron James in 5-on-5.
Exactly.
Roland Curtis says all media lists locked MJ at 1, Braun at 2, Kareem at 3. I appreciate you, Roland, but I don't want to talk about these lists anymore. God damn it, they don't mean anything anymore. It's sad. They don't mean anything anymore. Hey, you know what I know what I want to. I want to. No. Before my stupid old ass forgets what I want to say again. You mentioned Dr. J. Imagine LeBron showing up at Rucker Park. He ain't gonna be welcomed, is he?
He can't go to Rucker Park like Dr. J. He can't go to Rucker Park like Kobe.
No, he can't. He can't go. He can't go.
Nope. That's why LeBron James didn't do a slam dunk contest. He don't want to go out there and show up in front of those people.
LeBron James can't go to Rucker Park.
Can't do it, man. I told you, he's not qualified. He's not worthy to step on a court like that. And like I said,
take your weak shit out.
Went out there, he would stink it up.
What did the New Yorkers tell him? Take his weak ass out of there?
That's right. You ain't never going to be Jordan. That's what they told him in New York. You ain't never going to be Jordan. You know why? Because Michael Jordan earned the respect of the New York fans. A lot of those New York people used to boo Michael Jordan and root against him, and Michael Jordan loved that. I remember Michael Jordan being interviewed about getting booed in certain arenas, right? They booed Michael Jordan out of respect. That's why they booed him. They didn't hate Michael Jordan. Oh, he's trash. Let's boo him. No, they booed him because he was so great. But I remember Michael Jordan saying, I like when they boo me because that lets me know that I'm doing something that they don't like. So I want to keep doing that. And what did they not like that Michael Jordan was doing? He kept winning. He kept beating them. But they respected Michael Jordan. That's why the New York fans will say, you ain't never going to beat Jordan, man.
Rucker Park, as far as LeBron James is concerned, might be the complete opposite of playing in the bubble. And this lets you know what the heart for BSers that say that the bubble chip was the hardest one. This tells you that's not true. An environment like Rucker Park would be the hardest environment for LeBron James to win in, and the bubble was the optimal environment for LeBron James to win in because that motherfucker can't handle pressure. I actually, when I was joking watching the 2020 finals to make a video. I was like, I wonder if LeBron James is worried about what the digital heads are saying about him. I wonder if he tried to get a digital head thrown out of the game.
You know what?
He's the most insecure bitch on the planet, so it's possible.
I mean, the insecurities is astounding. I mean, you pointed a lot of these insecurities out several times when LeBron James is sitting there talking himself up. That's insecurity right there.
He's the most embarrassing man I can think of, at least in terms of athletes.
Criminal. It's really criminal. And look at some of the people that are supporting LeBron James out here in the media, whether you want to say they're trolling or not. Someone like Gilbert Arenas, for example, when he tries to say the things that he said about Kobe Bryant, about being the next Pippen, I've been posting. I know a lot of you guys have probably seen that. I've been posting a lot of these old Sports Illustrated covers. And the reason why I've been doing this is to highlight the reality, the truth about the conversations around Kobe Bryant at that time. He was always being compared to Michael Jordan, guys. And I've been showing you guys this on the Sports Illustrated covers, what they were talking about as far as Kobe Bryant, man, and what he was doing out there. There's no talk of next Pippen.
Yeah. No. I remember them talking about him being the next Jordan. Yeah. Gilbert Arenas is there one clip of someone saying they was the next Pippen? Does that exist anywhere? Kobiff, I started laughing while you were talking because I read this ahead of time. LeBron would go to Rucker if they were hosting some event where men wear handbags. And Taylor Swift sacrifices babies to bail. Goddamn.
Yo, shout out to Cole Biff. We're coming through. You know, it's when we talk about the handbags. See, once again, you never know where we're gonna go out here. And we talk about the handbags, the short suits, right? The lip gloss, the sleep masks, right? All the stuff that LeBron James does. I mean, what else is he carrying in that bag? There's got to be some tampons in there, right? There's got to be
his own Barbie dolls,
some baby oil, some honey, some lip gloss, some nail polish. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know what's in that bag.
Oh, that's the fucking chat of the day right there.
A couple of Barbie dolls, a couple of do-rags. Goodness gracious, man. It just doesn't make any sense. Someone said he got pepper spray in there. He got pepper spray.
He's got a couple of combs.
Yo, he's got that one brush. He got to keep brushing that hair down, LeBron James. Come on, man. Even I know I ain't got no hair. I ain't going to be out here trying to brush nothing. My man's brushing his scalp. You're going to start bleeding. You keep doing that.
I've only seen that clip on people making fun of him, and I didn't understand. Like, is he really pretending to comb his hair?
Insane.
I don't understand. No, is that what's happening? I don't understand that footage. Is he literally in the locker room pretending that he has hair?
He's brushing it down. That's why I say I laugh at this stuff. Dude, what are you brushing,
What's
man?
wrong with him? I got a clip. I've got this still frame from the barber shop in which they've got this piece of black shit on his shoulder to pretend like they cut something off of his head.
No, that's I haven't been to a barber shop in a long time, man. I do my own cuts. I do my own beard. You know what I'm saying? I'm here living in reality. I haven't worn a do-rag in a long time, man. You know what's funny? There was a movie, Beverly Hills Cop 3. Right? Shout out to my man Eddie Murphy, Beverly Hills Cop. I love Beverly Hills Cop. In number 3, Beverly Hills Cop, there's a scene where Eddie Murphy, is going to meet up with somebody, right? Or he's going to this function to try to mess with this guy or whatever. And he runs into an old acquaintance from Beverly Hills 1. And he goes, "Oh, Ockwell." And you guys remember, it's Bronson Pinchot or Pino, whatever, I can't remember what his name is. The guy used to play in Perfect Strangers, right? He has that really funny accent. He used to play a Balky Bartholomew in the show Perfect Strangers. And,
get the fuck out of here.
Boutique, right? And he's got the boutique, what? Hi, I'm here at the boutique, what? And he gives Eddie Murphy's character, Axel Foley, this little like keychain thing where it like blinds people who are trying to rob you, right? If someone's trying to rob you for your car, he goes, I'm not going to die for my Camry. And you can hit the button, it emits a bright light, and then you can run away from your attacker. You can get away. I guarantee LeBron James is carrying that in his bag.
Oh my God. I wondered where you were going.
You know me, I'm just rambling here.
That's where we ended up, huh?
Beverly Hills Cop 3. Once again, another reference.
McZuggins is here. Let's keep the laughs going. It was end one because AI still made the damn shot. What's LeBron's gear? Charlie Brown. Oh, Charlie Brown. Don't make me try.
Charlie Brown. You guys remember Charlie Brown?
And Lucy.
That's right. Remember he go and kick he go and try to kick the ball and she'd move it and it'd fall. We're really dating ourselves right here with something like Charlie Brown. I want you guys to think about something. Once again, here we are talking about Charlie Brown on the live stream. Shout out to my man McZuggins. But we're so old, and you think about Charlie Brown, you can't even have Charlie Brown on TV anymore. They actually banned Charlie Brown's Christmas from TV because they said it wasn't inclusive enough.
Oh, wow.
There wasn't enough brown people in Charlie Brown's Christmas, man. What are we doing here, man? Charlie Brown didn't do nothing to nobody. I love Charlie Brown. I love Pigpen, the dirty kid, man. He was hilarious. Everywhere he went was a dirt ball. He had to do the Linus with the blanket, like the little mama's boy or Linus. Always got the blanket and stuff, man. Always got his thumb in his mouth, right? You got Charlie Brown, who acts like a 50-year-old when he's a kid, always stressed out about nonsense, right? I mean, you had Snoopy the dog, who was wittier than all of them, who always made them look stupid. But somehow, some way, Charlie Brown's not inclusive enough, man. It's freaking Charlie Brown.
Hollywood. I mean, listen, it's reflective of the times. It's whether it was right or wrong. You know, you had entire communities of white people. My girlfriend's Filipino, but we watch some old shows because we can't stand the new garbage now. And I say to her all the time, it's like, look at all the fucking white people. Because Hollywood wasn't just forcing in every ethnicity that's ever existed. They were just like, no, it was white people at the time, and we're going to have our characters be white because that's the way it fucking was.
I never remember growing up feeling slighted or feeling a certain way about Charlie Brown, man. Are they going to turn around and say, oh, they had a dog in Charlie Brown, but no one added a cat? There were no cats there. Is that a knock on people who love cats? Like, what are we doing here, man? It doesn't make any sense. There's only one show that I remember my father ever caring whether we watched or not. The only show that I wasn't allowed to watch as a kid growing up in my house was Dukes of Hazzard. That was the only show that I know that we weren't allowed to have on the TV, and for obvious reasons. But other than that, I never remember anyone having a problem with some of these things because, like you said, it wasn't meant that way. No one looked at it this way.
Dude, that just got really interesting. Why weren't you allowed to watch the Dukes of Hazzard?
Because of the Confederate flag on their car.
Oh, okay. I was gonna guess that.
Yeah,
it's amazing. I bet you a lot of people don't even think that. Because what is the Dukes of Hazzard for a lot of people? Daisy Dukes,
right.
The legs.
Exactly.
Wow, that's so true.
But you know what's funny? As a kid, you wouldn't even know that. Like I said, at 8, 9 years old, 7 years old, however old I was when Dukes of Hazzard was, a really popular show, I didn't know anything about that kind of stuff or what that flag could have implied
Exactly.
or meant to other people or how people felt about that.
I had no fucking idea at the time. Then again, I only watched that show the 3 times that channel came in where I was living. Out of the 3 channels that I had.
I mean, think about something like a cartoon. I mean, I know we're completely off the rails here right now, guys. I know that.
Do you think? Do you fucking think?
But think about something like G.I. Joe. Even a cartoon like G.I. Joe always left you with a public service announcement. And that's essentially what we're doing here on these live streams. When they put these lists out, we're doing a PSA. That's what we're doing. We're doing a public service here. Uncut Hoops, my man Angreal Hoops, all these YouTubers out here that are putting the work out, that are standing up against the lies and the narratives. That's what we're doing here. It's a public service that we're doing, because the media, the people that are supposed to be doing this stuff, they're not doing the service right. They're not. And that's a sad reality for what's going on right now.
Do you know the Fensler Films series that took those G.I. Joe public service announcements and overdubbed them back many, many years ago before people were doing this sort of thing?
No, I don't.
Okay. Look it up afterward.
Okay.
Fensler Films, G.I. Joe PSAs. It's weird.
I mean, they used to talk about all kinds of things, man. Like I said, they would always leave you with something, at the end of these things. I remember they used to talk about nutrition. I remember one of the G.I. Joe episodes, they were talking about eating apples, or what an apple could do and fruit could do and vegetables. Like, this is what they try to do. They try to help the kids out. Now, the kids ain't getting no help out there. There ain't no PSAs. Remember McGruff, the crime dog? Remember Smokey the bear to stop people from doing forest fires? You had legit things out there, entities out there trying to, like I said, teach you the right and wrongs. Now it's like whatever. Now everyone's on TikTok and they're doing the next TikTok challenge. I live in New York, guys, and in the city you have kids that were dying because they were subway surfing. Subway surfing. This is what they're doing now on social media. This is where you're leading people. Nobody wants to educate. Nobody wants to steal people in the right frame of mind here. They want people to just be clickbait. Everyone's here to be famous, an overnight celebrity. But that's not how the world works, man. You got people dying to be famous on social media. You got people eating themselves to death on social media for views, for clicks. It's insane.
You're gonna make me go dark. I'm not taking the bait. I can go darker than you.
Oh, we can go Navy SEAL SOCOM dark out this joint. I'm talking about black camouflage and everything. Night scope vision.
Praise the Dawn. Still bringing the supers. Go ahead and read it.
Absolutely. Praise the Dawn. Again, man, you're truly humble, man, with the support. LeBron would have left Rutgers in a cadaver pouch. Absolutely. Do you guys think that LeBron James? I mean, look at the photos of Dr. J when he was at Rutgers. You had people climbing fences on top of buildings, climbing trees to get a glimpse of Dr. J. And why? Because they knew Dr. J was going to put on a show. Just like Dr. J, at 35 years old, competed in the slam dunk contest, not just for himself, but for the people. He did it for the people, man. LeBron James ain't never had that.
How come you don't have that Adidas tank top?
Which one?
The one with the best footage of Dr. J at Rutgers.
Oh yeah. It's so crazy, man. When you look at some of those old photos, like I said, and what people were willing to do just to get a glimpse of this man in the street, playing ball in the street. Like I said, because they knew he was going to go out there. And remember, these guys were doing all this stuff in canvas sneakers, guys. There was no excuses. There was no crying. There was none of this stuff. These guys went out there and they played the game because they loved the game and they wanted to compete.
So I'm gonna resist going darker. Maybe we should just wrap it because we covered some interesting shit today.
We always do. Like I said, man, it's been amazing doing these lives with you. Like I said, we always all over the place, but I love it, man. Like I said, everyone out in the chat, you guys continue to engage with us. Shout out to my man Infamous Styles coming through. The Dare commercials, absolutely. I still have my Dare certificate. I remember graduating from Dare. You know what I'm saying? I remember his name was Officer Woolley. Shout out to Officer Woolley, man, for teaching us all the Dare stuff.
At least one person said that they know the Fensler films. I might queue one up for next week for us.
Okay, absolutely, man.
All right, so we got Sunday coming up, and then when is the real live? What does that mean, Siberius? What are we talking about?
Are we going live on Friday?
Oh, the next live. God damn, my eyes are shitty. This Friday, no, Sunday.
No Friday?
What? Maybe. I can't confirm right now.
All right, no
I'll be
problem.
doing it. I'll be doing it from the road if I do.
Well, listen,
And
yeah,
you're
no doubt.
you're
AOH.
still you're. Hey, by the way, unlike Rob Parker leaving The Odd Couple without a babysitter, Robin's on vacation and he's still doing this. So
Once
that's
again,
why
like
we
I
have
said,
this.
it
That's
means a
why we have
lot,
this.
man. Like I said, to be on here with you, to have this opportunity to interact with everybody, for people to come through on a Wednesday, like I said, and spend some time out of their day listening to us. It means a lot. So, like I said, I don't mind taking some time out of my vacation time to come out here and do these shows. Like I said, because it does mean a lot. Like I said, because you guys are true supporters, man. So this is how I try to give back and show the appreciation. Like I told you, I don't really have much as far as membership goes, or I can give you guys all this crazy stuff. So I try to give you guys what I can, man. So I really appreciate everyone coming through, and like I said, I don't mind doing some of this stuff because of the feedback that we get, man.
Mick Zuggins met Dr. J. That's pretty cool. Fun fact: no purse. Weird.
No purse. When we think about someone like I said, Dr. J, and not only Dr. J, but a lot of the great players from the past, they have a lot of things in common as far as, what they value, the principles that they stood on. Dr. J is a classy dude, man. Whenever I heard Dr. J speak, anytime that I, listened to him or watched him, he always a classy individual. So I respect him. He had integrity. He's honorable. And then you watch the way that he played the game. Like I said, he went out there and laid it on the line. He was a true competitor. And Dr. J was really good, man. He wasn't just a slam dunk. I remember one time, some kid told me that the only thing that Dr. J did better than Kevin Durant was dunk the basketball. That's what someone said. So you're reducing someone like Dr. J down to just a dunker. Anyone that knows Dr. J, and once again, I did not grow up watching Dr. J. I wasn't alive in the 70s watching prime Dr. J. I wasn't there for this stuff. So how the hell do I know and recognize Dr. J if I didn't watch him growing up? Because I did my homework. I did the damn research. I listened to people that know more than me, right? And what do I find out? That Dr. J was a hella fine player. He wasn't just a dunker. What? He only dunked better than Kevin Durant? No. The only thing that Kevin Durant did better than Dr. J was shoot the basketball. Other than that, Kevin Durant can't shine Dr. J's shoes, man. To me, if they ever matched up on a team, each person or leader of their team, give me Dr. J leading his team all day over Kevin Durant leading his team, man. Dr. J was a better defender. He was a better rebounder. To me, he was better above or below the rim with the finishes. He was a greater athlete than Kevin Durant was. He could run faster, jump higher. He was stronger than Kevin Durant. He had more grit and heart than Kevin Durant, man. Those are the facts, guys.
It disturbs me that people don't bother to do their research before saying such bold things. You can have an opinion, but before you talk about other people, you should go and learn about them. Like Led Zeppelin is before my time, but I did the research to realize that I can say that they're the best band ever, even though they were before my time. Yeah.
Absolutely. I tell people all the time, my favorite musician of all time is Stevie Wonder, guys. All right. And how do I know about Stevie Wonder, man? Because I grew up listening to Stevie Wonder. So once again, I was exposed to this stuff, right? And why was I exposed to this? Because my dad appreciates Stevie Wonder. He was a big fan of Stevie Wonder. Stevie Wonder has great music. So yes, I know and remember, and I value and appreciate Stevie Wonder and his music. And like I said, to this day, he's my favorite musician of all time, man. I listen to Stevie Wonder all the time, even when I'm exercising. If I'm dribbling around, playing basketball outside, shooting around, I got Stevie Wonder in the headphones, man.
Did I already tell this story? They had a little mini doc which used Lionel Richie as the central character for We Are the World, the creation of We Are the World.
Yeah.
And the solos that Stevie Wonder had, for some reason, watching him belt it out made me appreciate what his lungs could do more than I ever had in my life. That dude could fucking let it rip, huh?
Yo, you know what? You're right on the money, AOH. I mean, like I said, the voice of Stevie Wonder, to me, like I said, it just really does something for me, like I said. But you know what's really, when I listen to Stevie Wonder's music, right? You're listening to what he's saying, the words of the songs. The dude is special because how can he describe the things that he's describing when the man has never seen before. It wasn't like Ray Charles, who became blind, right?
Oh, he fucking nailed it in that shit too.
Yeah, exactly. But Stevie Wonder was born blind. And somehow, some way, this man's able to describe things in his songs, talk about things like love, talk about things like the world. And you're like, damn, how is this man able to describe this stuff that way?
You got a shout out there from Willie Williams. Go ahead.
Yo, for Robin being the Jordan of showing up. Yo, that means a lot, man, for real. Shout out to my man, Willie Williams. Like I said, shout out to my wife, too, man, who allows me to come out here on vacation and do these live streams without, putting me in a chokehold or, making a big thing about it. So once again, man, I'm blessed to be able to do these live streams on vacation, man. And like I said, I really appreciate doing these things with my man, AOH.
When you should be with your children, where LeBron should have been for the last 10 fucking years.
Hey, I just came off the beach with my kids, with my family. We were on the beach at 7:30 a.m., ladies and gentlemen. You know that sports and fitness rants, I don't play no games, man. You know I'm up early in the morning. We getting it done. And my family, we're all on the same page, man. We on the beach early. We getting our quality time together. You guys know that.
You're the Stockton of showing up. Says
yes, that's what I'm saying. I told you guys, my man John Stockton got into a car accident going to a basketball game, guys, and he didn't sit that game out. My man got into a car accident and still playing the game. You know why? Because John Stockton had heart and grit, and he was a competitor, man. Shout out to the real Siberians.
So I guess I gotta show up too. So on Friday, I'll be doing it remotely. Are you still on vacation Friday, or what time are we doing it?
I'm on vacation for another week. I won't be leaving the beach down here.
Another week? Who are you?
On vacation, man. I get some vacation. It's only one vacation a year. 2 weeks, man. We out here. But I'm bringing it. Listen, I'm available Friday to do the live. If my man AOH can't make it, he got his own stuff going on. He's on the road. But if he can't make it, I'm going to try to do the live anyway for you guys.
All right. But when we do it, it'll be noon Pacific, 3 Eastern. Correct?
That's right.
Okay. All right. I'm going to fucking fall down. I got to end this.
So once again, man, thanks a lot, AOH. Everybody in the chat, I hope you guys have a great day, man. Thank you again for coming through and supporting us, man. And you guys know the deal, man. We'll catch you guys on the next one, man.
Yeah, man. Oh, remind me to ask you in the next, the boardwalk. I got to tell you, it looks like a good time. Do you go up to Atlantic City?
I've never been to Atlantic City a day in my life. True story.
Not once.
Never been there. You know what's funny? I remember one time somebody asked me that if I've ever been there, and I said, no, I've never been to Atlantic City. And they looked at me as if I had 3 heads. It's similar to the look that me and my wife get when people ask us if we drink and we say, no, we don't drink. People don't understand when we say that. They think that we just say or mean that we don't drink during the week or we only drink on the weekends. And we say, no, we don't drink alcohol. We haven't drank alcohol in a long, long time. And once again, it's not because, we're cooler than everybody else or we're better than everybody else. We just don't drink. But people always give us a weird look when we say that. It's almost like, you don't drink? No, I just don't drink.
I guess I would reduce the attraction to Atlantic City.
But I heard Atlantic City is a really nice place, man. Shout out to anybody that lives in Atlantic City or has been to Atlantic City. I'm not really much of a gambler either because I don't have any money to gamble. So to me, gambling is for people who have money or people who don't care about their money, so to speak, because every dollar that I have, I need. If I lose $10, then I may not have gas for the week.
Mm-hmm. I hear you. Speaking of, I'm going to go walk to the closest bar.
Let's do it. Anyways, I'll catch you later, guys.
All right. I'll see you Friday.
Yeah, man.